Hello everyone and welcome back to PabsKitchen. Today I am taking you back to the villages of Nepal with one of my favorite seasonal recipes, Gatta-Munta Tarkari, a comforting curry made with young pumpkin and tender pumpkin soup. If you have never seen pumpkin soups before, you are not alone. In many countries they are simply thrown away, but in Nepal we treasure them. During the monsoon season, pumpkin vines grow everywhere and we make delicious dishes from the young pumpkin, the tender soup, the leaves and even the flowers. It's a beautiful example of traditional Nepali zero waste cooking where every part of the plant is enjoyed. I harvested these fresh from my in-laws garden this morning, so they couldn't be any fresher. Let me show you how we turn this simple garden vegetable into one of the most comforting village curries you will ever taste. Let's start. Before we start cooking, I'd like to show you a traditional trick that's been used in many Nepali homes for generations. I'm washing the rice that will be serving with this curry. After throwing away the first cloudy water, I wash the rice a second time. This time I kept the milky white water. This is called rice stock. And instead of cooking the vegetable with plain water, many Nepali families use this. It naturally thickens the curry, gives it a silky texture, and adds a gentle sweetness without using flour or cream. It's such a simple technique, but it makes a wonderful difference. Now let's prepare our vegetables. Today's stars are gatta, which is a young pumpkin, and munta, the tender pumpkin shoots. The best time to enjoy them is during the summer and monsoon season, when the vines are young and full of fresh growth. The first thing I do is wash the pumpkin, the shoots and the tomatoes really well under plenty of running water. I always prefer washing vegetables before cutting them because it helps keep all their natural flavor inside. Once everything is clean, pat them dry with a kitchen towel to remove any excess water. Now let's prepare the pumpkin shoots. Separate the tender leaves from the thicker stems. If the leaves are very large, simply tear them into smaller pieces. For the thicker stem, gently peel away the tough outer fiber until you reach the tender center. This is one of the most important steps because removing those fibers gives the finished curry a soft, delicate texture. Finally, break the stems into pieces about 4 to 5 centimeters long and set everything aside. Now let's prepare the young pumpkin. Because this pumpkin is still very young, I am leaving the soft center intact. If you are using an older pumpkin and the center feels soft or spongy, simply scoop it out before slicing. Now watch this traditional cutting method. I make a deep cross-shaped slit through the top of the pumpkin, almost dividing it into 4 sections while keeping it together as one piece. Then I slice across the pumpkin. Each slice naturally separates into 4 even pieces. This simple village technique creates perfectly sized pieces while allowing the pumpkin to absorb all the delicious flavors during cooking without falling apart. Now all that's left is to crush the garlic. Finally, slice the shallots if you are using them. Break the dried chilli into smaller pieces and dice the tomatoes. With everything prepared, we are ready to start cooking. Heat the mustard oil in a pan or karai over medium heat until it just begins to smoke lightly. This helps soften the sharp flavor of the mustard oil while bringing out its wonderful aroma. Now add the jwano followed by the cumin seeds. Let them sizzle for a few seconds until fragrant. Next, stir in the crushed garlic. If you are using shallots, add them now along with the dried chillies. Cook everything for about 2 to 3 minutes until the garlic is lightly golden and your kitchen smells absolutely amazing. Now add the sliced pumpkin. Give everything a gentle stir so every piece is coated in those fragrant spices. Next, add the diced tomatoes, turmeric and salt. If you like a slightly deeper flavor, you can also add the coriander powder at this stage, but it's completely optional. Mix everything together, cover the pan and let it cook for about 4 to 6 minutes, stirring occasionally. The pumpkin should be about halfway cooked while still holding its shape. Now remove the lid and give everything another gentle stir. Pour in about 2 cups of the reserved rice stock and bring it to a gentle simmer. Once it's bubbling gently, add all of the prepared pumpkin shoots. At first, it may look like far too many shoots for the pan, but don't worry. Within just a few minutes, they will soften and shrink down beautifully. Gently fold everything together, cover the pan once again and let it cook for another 10 to 15 minutes until both the pumpkin and the shoots are perfectly tender. Now I'd like to show you my favorite optional addition. This is not part of every traditional recipe, but it's a twist I absolutely love. Using a traditional silauto or a small blender, grind together roasted sesame seeds, roasted timur and a little water until you have a smooth paste. Stir this into the curry during the final 3 minutes of cooking. The roasted sesame gives the curry a creamy, nutty richness, while the timur adds a gentle citrus aroma that lifts the whole dish beautifully. If you have never tried this combination before, I highly recommend it. Our Gatta-Munta Tarkari is now ready. Taste the curry and adjust the seasoning if needed. Give everything one final gentle stir, then turn off the heat. I'd like to let it rest for about 5 minutes before serving because it allows all those wonderful flavors to come together. If you would like to make this curry a little more filling, you can also add potatoes, black-eyed peas, soaked soybeans or fresh green peas. Traditionally, we enjoy it with hot steamed rice or dido. It also goes beautifully with a simple fried egg, fermented Nepali achar, fresh salad or even plain yogurt. Every spoonful of this curry reminds me of the monsoon season back home, when vegetables came straight from the garden and the simplest ingredients made the most comforting meals. I hope this recipe inspires you to try something new and experience a little taste of Nepal in your own kitchen. If you enjoyed today's recipe, please give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to PabsKitchen and let me know in the comments if you have ever cooked pumpkin shoots before. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in the next recipe. Until then, happy cooking!